For years when I registered for stuff, whether going into a new doctor's office or, something online or government, whatever, I have always put down my ethnicity as African American. Okay. Now I'm pasty white, but I just say that. And sometimes it's been uncomfortable. Recently, I went into a clinic. I just had a cold, looking for some quick fix or antibiotic. And I went to this clinic I'd never been to before, and the lady helping me register was black. And before we were finished, she pushed this paper over and said, listen, you don't have to fill this out, but if you would volunteer, appreciate it. And it was my ethnic background. And I said, what is this for? And she goes, well, the government uses it for data analytics, that kind of stuff. And I said, well, hey, I am happy to help. And I hesitated, but I did check the box that said African American, pushed it back. She looked at it, looked at me and said, really? And so let me help you understand this, not just her, but everybody. Honestly, we should ask the question when we get that paper, how far back do you want me to go? For hundreds of years, my family's been in America. If we go back further than that on my father's side, I am pasty white Scottish. But really, we should go back to the beginning. And if we're going to trust science, they tell us that humans began, our origin is Africa. When we first got up on 2 feet, man, Africa is where we were walking. So we're all African Americans. Everyone. So to designate or to label people based on skin color or race is really dumb. Just finished a book by Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's an astrophysicist. It's a brand new book. It's short, easy read, but it's really good. He communicates well. It's called Starry Messenger, Cosmic Perspectives on Civilization. In one chapter on race, he was talking about Barack Obama, and I love this. And of course, Obama had a black parent, a white parent, but he's known in this country as the very first African-American president. But deGrasse Tyson pointed out that if he had been president of several countries in Africa, any one of them, he would have been labeled the first white president because of the shade, the color of his skin. It's really crazy. I was at a paint store recently and just needed some basic white for ceiling paint. And the lady that I was talking to told me there are 170 versions of white. And of course, I immediately took that to race and wondered, wow, I wonder which version am I? And I promise you, if I ever meet a white supremacist, I'm going to ask him, hey, which version of white is white supremacist? Is it all of them or just yours? And by the way, what is yours? It's just so stupid. You might ask the question, okay, Bill, well, how are we going to designate people? How are we going to do stuff like affirmative actions if we don't use the color of skin? Glad to answer that. You see, I'm a freedom-loving person. I'm a capitalist. I would base absolutely everything on merit. The individual and what they're willing to do and to be. Everything right there. Stuff like skills, education, work ethic, imagination, creativity, experiences. Listen, you give me somebody that has all of that stuff, there are no limits to the success. And honestly, for me, the work ethic is the most important. I've hired a lot of people. It overcomes a lack of skills or experience or even education. Because, and by the way, I taught my kids this, work ethic is showing up early every shift, working harder than everybody else, staying positive no matter what, and taking pride in what you produce. You do that, there is no limit to how you will succeed. Can we get rid of racial labeling, please?